thank you everyone for joining. It's good to see you guys again.
Hey, Sean.
The process as we're going forward, again, we're building, and we have this week and next week to finish our small house anyway, our tiny house. But it's still, if you have practiced this and have put this to any kind of use, and hopefully been rigorous with it. I was going to say skeptical, but I don't know if that's the word I want. Rigorous with it and saying, okay, am I really noticing something? Is this person really, the person I'm working with, are they really affected? And then kind of really noticing it for yourself. And it took me a while. I don't know what the set number is. I didn't have a set number, but it took me a while to say, wow, this is really effective. And I've used it in my family. And after our tornado 11 years ago, I really said, well, let's see what this thing can do. Let's kick the towers and light the fires. And it, I might have shared this with Jondi before, but it has been the saving grace for my daughter Grace. It is her go-to tool. We've collapsed so many things around that tornado. For both Grace, as far as her constriction, and Parks is with some of his hyperarousal stuff. We just collapsed so many things. It's been, honestly, I don't know what I would have done without this tool, folks. So I don't want to talk too much, but as we're building, we've had trouble getting people to connect with each other, even volunteer. So I encourage you guys to volunteer today, because we want people to practice with each other, or practice on yourself, maybe while Johnny's leading a practice with someone else, because you have to practice. You got to have muscle memory. You have to kind of get comfortable with the talking part of it. Otherwise, you'd be thinking so much when you're doing it. It's not going to come naturally or fluidly, because you're going to be thinking, well, what is this next? And your eyes will be doing this, and it's going to take you out of the moment. And if you'll notice how it goes is really diving into the person and experiencing the moment with them. And if you're so busy being in your head, it's going to put a little bit of a wall there. So practice up today with us. All right, Johnny, take it away.
Yes, please. So I'll just riff off what Gerald Always Right has to say, which is, I'm looking for a demo today. I want to make it fast. And then I want you to either practice with me or to put you in a little breakout room, whatever it is that makes you comfortable, because like I've said a couple of times now, this feeling is believing, and feeling your way into launching this is what's going to allow you to do it with anybody. And I just thought that, the way that we've been building it is first me, always me, getting myself grounded, ready, balanced, prepared, and then my peers, perhaps those around me, right? And then whoever calls me up, like Annie and I were talking a few minutes before this call, and the idea, the request that she was getting was, how do I help my staff when clients are calling them up and yelling at them? They're having a hard time with that. And this is exactly the kind of situation that A, you first, B, then peer-to-peer or the person that you're around can help with, right? Because this is just another version of de-escalation. The difference is it's organically flowing, simple, and rapid. Yes, it's so easy to do. That's what I want you to see today. So I have always been running out of time. So I will just say, does anybody have anything they would like to report that they have tried this week? Yes, please. And if you don't, I'll just launch it into where we're going next with this, which is just simply the next building block. Anybody? Yes.
I've played with it a couple times, Jody, and I've done it mainly just for myself. I haven't. I had a couple opportunities to try it with others, but they weren't at that point yet. But I've done it with myself, and when I've done it in the morning after I wake up. If I have a dream, I'm a journaler, so I've been journaling my dreams. And if I have something in my dream that I'm just like, that doesn't make me feel good, I've been tapping on that, and I've noticed it does feel better. after a while, but it seems to take a little bit longer than, 2-3 cycles or whatever.
Mhm.
But again, I'm just getting used to it. But it's nice to
Well,
use it.
I'm just thrilled that you're using it. I'm also thrilled by the truth. Just, wherever that is taking a little bit more time or making you curious, I would just say, I would be targeting the body. Where do I feel it? How is it feeling now? How's it feeling now? And feeling just being an operative word for sensation, right? How is that changing? And you might be asking yourself, where's this coming from? Or where's this leading? Or what's that got to say to me? Just like one simple question that will help you push into a little clarity around that. I think that might be helpful. So give it a shot, and you have my email so you can ask me more. Okay? Fair
Thank
enough? You are so welcome. Okie dokie. Let me just jump on the screen here, and there it is, and share it. There it is. Okay, great. And slideshow from start. Okie dokie. So we're on number 3. We've only got this week and next week, so that I'm really dedicated to getting us in gear for that. So we just asked that question. Sean, you were helpful enough to go ahead and say that you had tried that. And he also said what he noticed. So thank you. I want to reiterate that theme I gave you last time. I can help a lot without knowing a lot. I'm going to keep on pushing towards that peer-to-peer or person around me idea. Again, I repeat, I don't have to know a whole lot about what's going on with them in order to help them a lot with at least de-intensifying and probably with giving more clarity on what's going on for them, which might allow me to isolate a priority to work on. Instead of this, I don't know what's going on, I don't know where to start, this is just too overwhelming, right? We can't go a whole lot of places from there. This little algorithm set that I'm teaching you is what that's all about. Okay, so simply be present. We've been talking about that a lot. Tap very simply, like you've got the charts to do, and notice. Yes, the big C word of consciousness, but usually I'm not too fancy like that. I'm just going, what do you notice? And now what do you notice? And what are you noticing now? These repetitive conversational questions will often do the trick. Okay, and so we can stay out of the weeds, and I think that that's going to be helpful for you and your situations I'm going to take a look at right now, but also from the idea of privacy. If we're working with a colleague or we're working with a family member and they don't really want to get into the nitty gritty of what's going on for very good reasons, you can show them, you know what, I don't have to know a whole lot of that in order to help make this feel a little bit better. Want to try? That is my entire tutorial right there. And then it's just do this with me. Let's see how that works for you. That quickly into help, right? So my ideas today were going to be along these lines. Hey, Daryl.
I don't, maybe there's a better spot for this, Jondi.
Go.
But, Sean had said there was people that he thought this would benefit, but he described it as they weren't there yet. What would be a way that we see somebody, we know some benefit. How can we, what's a good opening for that person?
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Sean. Could you share with us some thoughts about that, Sean? How it would be of benefit to some others that perhaps I haven't talked about that kind of approach, but we could, because I
like that. Well, last week you said, Jondi, that just like a simple question. I think this might help if you have 2 minutes to try it out. And like that was it. And I thought that was nice.
Is that what you tried, Sean?
No. I did it with my wife, not last week, but the week prior. And it was just for, it was like, I don't even know if it was 2 minutes. It was just real quick. And then we got interrupted by the kiddos, so I didn't we didn't get to experience anything on it, I don't think very well. But again, it'll be on my list to do it again when we have a little bit more private time.
Great. And listen, I'm not above going into the next room and making a call. Oh, mom's on the phone right now. I'll be with you in just a minute. And it's just an easy way to do it, because the phone itself even lends itself, because you can see each other, know each other. You already have that kind of rapport. So it's easy. And yes, I've even done sessions with people in their walk-in closet. So, hey, it can work. So thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else have a different kind of scenario that they're thinking, how do I use it with this person or this kind of person or in this situation? Because I'm not feeling you, Jondi. Anybody? Every answer is welcome. Anybody at all? No? Okay, well, let's go forward, knowing that I'm always here for you. If you would go ahead and give me something to work with that is specific to you. I want to meet you where you are. Okay, so my ideas for today were just to find some situations that I was pretty sure every one of us could easily look at and go, yep, yep, yep. So for instance, over helping out of habit or expectation and then feeling really worn out from it, right? This is what I do and I have to. Number two, feeling I have to keep helping versus helping them help themselves. I haven't even gotten that far. I'm kind of on a wheel, right? Of I do this, people expect this, and I'm going to keep on doing this. Or sense of dread when someone does ask for help or needs my attention, and I don't think I have the time it's going to take, at least not to my way of old thinking, right? Because this is a rapid tool. That's what we're selling here. This idea of I'm just tired and exhausted from taking on too much, hearing too much, and the vicarious trauma effects from listening to all that all day, whether they're my peers, they're my clients, they're my in-laws, doesn't really matter, right? It's just too much, ongoing, and I'm hearing it all, and I'm kind of ingesting it all, right? And so my body has no choice but to react to all that. Or clients and or colleagues that are having a hard time just managing the overwhelm. Just like Annie was talking about earlier, if I have clients that are called up and they're just overactivated and they're yelling at me all the time, A, I'm not going to be loving what I'm doing. B, I don't want to answer the phone. And C, what do I do about that? First of all, to keep myself safe, grounded, neutral in the face of all that. And then how do I carry that over to them? Because we do know that our energy goes back and forth with whomever we're talking. And if we don't have any, let's call it noticing going on there, we are both reacting to each other. So we just keep upping the ante. It's automatic. So this is yet another way for us to be able to manage the overwhelm, mine, before I even get on the phone, because I have expectations now, right? And while I'm on the phone, I've given you several things that you can do that don't involve talking. It's just treating your body parts. And also then, like Sean and I were talking a minute ago, hey, I hear you're really upset. I completely understand that. Let me try something with you. Just going to take a minute or two. Let's just quietly do what I do. Can you see me? And if they can't see you because they're not on a video call, then you're going to have to use your words like I have in the past, which is, I want you to just take your first two fingers and I want you to tap on some acupuncture points. I think it'll help you feel better. Total reasoning and exactly what to do. Take your two fingers and I want you to just tap on the side of your hand and just breathe with me. This literally will take us a couple of minutes and you'll be the judge if that's working for you. Okay? Just the act of getting entrained to one another, involved in something positive, is going to start turning that around. So the bottom situation is helping others quickly release overwhelm and recover their balance. That's kind of what we're doing, right? Any questions about that? I'm suggesting that these kinds of things that we're talking about are easy antidotes. And I'm going to ask for somebody to take this particular model, which is a body model that has, again, no words, so you don't have to worry about that. It's easy. Can't make that stay. It's easy to just launch with somebody, right? And so this is in your brochure already. Why did that pop up? I don't know. And I am looking for somebody to do this one with me. You don't have to know it. I'm going to help you move through it. And I just loved for somebody to try it out that is interested in any of these situations I just mentioned being better for them and also possibly better for their colleagues or their clients, including the ones that, yeah. Anybody want to do this with me?
I'll do it with you, Jondi.
Yay, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I can't see who's talking. Is it
Me,
you, Jody?
sorry.
Okay,
I got new computer stuff and I'm still trying to figure it all out, so.
that's completely okay. That sounds like something I would do. Now, let's see. Hold on, I lost you again. There you are. Okay,
Hold on a second.
there you go. Great. Okay,
It's a
so
try.
here's the demo of the day. I would like you to either decide, are you going to be role playing something or are you going to bring us a situation? And you're going to be holding that situation and I'll demo with you. Which one? We role play or you demo it?
How about I bring a situation?
Great, great.
Ah.
Okay, and because you have your colleagues here, is this a situation that you could name in one phrase?
Yeah, I'll do a personal one versus a
Okay,
big one. My family's all coming to town this weekend to start a big project and I'm stressed that it's not gonna go smoothly.
okay. So that's clear to me. And so what and about how much is the next question, right? And that's just like, well, how intensely are you feeling that right now?
About a 7.
Okay, so that feels like a lot. So how about if I just show you what I do to bring down the intensity?
Okay,
Okay, and so let's see, I think I need to put us over here. There we go, so you can see me too. Okay, so I'd like you to just take that situation that you named that feels fairly close to you, right?
yeah.
I'm just going to ask you if you could just set it down for a minute. Okay,
Okay.
just set it down. And then I'm just going to ask you if you could do this little acupressure thing with me to see if that will help feel less intense about this. So we'll talk more.
Okay.
Okay. And so I like to start here at the blade edge of my hand, just a few fingers like that. And we'll just breathe normally throughout this whole thing. Okay. And I'm going to do this about 10 times per point. I'd like you to go to the top of your head. So we're right on top of your ears there, the top of your head. Great. And then how about let's go to the beginning of our eyebrows, right where it meets the nose. And let's continue to breathe normally. Great. You're doing a great job. And then follow the eyebrows to the side of the eye, that bony part. Great. And then let's follow the bone until it's right underneath your pupils, right? Still on the bone. Great. And then there's a natural little valley under your nose. And there's another one under your lips. And there's some acupressure points right at the bottom of your throat, underneath those 2 knobs. Great. And then the last one I like to use is I just reach across my body and do the side of my rib. Just pat, 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 like that. Great. And then I'm going to show you a few more points, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to show you the bottom of my fingernails. I use this one for support, but this is a good time just to check my breathing and make sure it's pretty, reasonable, regular. I'm not forgetting to breathe, and go to the next point, which is your ring finger, right? And then the middle finger. Great. And I'm just banging across the bottom of the fingernail there. Good. And let's roll it right on over to the thumb, right on the bottom of the fingernail bed. Good. Let's go back to that end of throat collarbone thing. And let's stop. And let's breathe very deliberately twice. Let's just make it audible so we can be together. We go. Good. Let's do it again. And you can use your nose or your mouth. And then quickly, let's just do it one more time, the whole thing. And we're going back to the head and back to the eyebrows and to the side of the eyes and under the eyes and under the nose, on the chin, at the bottom of the throat, under the collarbones. And reach over there and just pat your rib. Great. Then I want to come back to those fingernail points. Again, I'm just using my thumb as an anchor. And you can go on either side, but we're going across the bottom. Perfect. Doing great. Let's go back to the collarbone one more time and stop, and let's breathe together again. Great. So we spent a couple of minutes, we breathed, we touched some acupuncture points. Now I want you to pick up that thing you were worried about. Just take a look at it again. Just ask yourself, where's my intensity on this now? Because that's what I'm working on.
You know, it's so funny because it's like way low. And every time I've done this with you, it goes way low. But I came this whole week since our last session, and I didn't think once to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm just like, that's so dumb, because why am I not doing it? Because it does work. And I even had a really good opportunity thinking back this weekend. I was with a little person. We were all at a picnic, and she wanted to ask the big kids to play with them. And they were big kids playing soccer. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. And she's a really anxious child, and her mom has taught her breathing techniques and calming techniques. So she was like, okay, you're just going to go up there and you're going to say, hey, my name's Leona. And she's like, and so I was impressed. She's 5 years old and doing all these grounding techniques and walking herself through it. But that would have been this would have been perfect for her. And I didn't even think about it.
But now you have.
Past
right?
the point.
Now you have. And so
Right.
Let's practice. Let's riff on that, because time is always just racing away from me somehow. So let's riff on that. Now that you have refreshed yourself, are re-enthused, aha, I could have used that.
Right.
I want you to do that with somebody else here. And if I don't get a volunteer, I will volunteer Sean. So I want to know if somebody else wants to try this with Jody, maybe somebody who's feeling the same way. Oh, wow. Yeah, I could have used that. Or maybe I'll just try it and see.
And you want me to lead this?
Yeah.
Oh, you're stressing me out.
Oh,
my thing just went up to a 10.
Oh my gosh. Well, how about this then? We specialize in telling the simple truth, right? So anybody who might be inclined to have Jody do this with you, watch again. And Jody, you just follow me again. We're putting it into the muscle so that it's not about thinking. It's just about doing, right?
Right.
You just kind of stand and deliver. So that thing that went up for a 10, it just stressed you out. We'll put it down, right? Tap on the side. And then just like a gravity waterfall kind of thing, start at the top and scoosh on down to the eyebrows And then it goes down, down, down to the side of the eye and around, under the eye and under the nose, under the lips, bottom of the throat, under the collarbone, and kind of drips way over there to the rib. What do you call those ribs, right, Johnny? And then let's just put our hands together. Let's put our hands into the act. Little fingernail beds. They're always in the right order. They're on the end of our hands. They're perfect. Right there waiting for us, right? So we did all 5 of those. And then we just went back here to the collarbone because we want to breathe. So we're going to stop and breathe. Just like Leona. That's great. Quickly, just go right through the same thing again. It's getting in the muscle memory. I start with my hands. I go to my gravity top. I go to my eyebrows. I drip it down to the side of my eye, under the nose, and right on the chin there. And down to the collarbone. And drip on over there to the rib cage. And let's put the hands in the act. All those little fingernails just in the right order. Perfect. Doing great. Got that thumb. Back to the chest because we're going to breathe. And then pick up that thing again. You asked me if I could lead this and it was like a 10 and I feed that back to you. So what's it like now?
So I'm still a little high, but lower. So probably about a 7 or an 8, or I mean a 7 or a 6.
So everybody, let's guess what we're going to ask her to do. Somebody.
I'll lead. Let's do it.
Yes. I like this courage in action. Yes, yes, yes. So does anybody want to be on the receiver? Anybody want to be the receiver? You can get some work done here too. No? Aw. Okay.
Sean, you're going to help me out?
Yeah, absolutely. If nobody wants, I don't want to jump in if somebody else wants to do it. I feel like I'm taking time, but yeah.
So Sean, why don't you tell us about something that is going on that's causing some stress in your life?
Yeah. So I got this thing. It's a family thing about an animal, and it just happened yesterday, as a matter of fact. And it just kind of makes me feel a little sad.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong are your emotions?
I'd say about 4.
A 4.
Maybe a
Okay.
little higher, but yeah.
Okay.
Definitely a 4.
Are you willing to try a technique with me that we can maybe get that stress a little bit lower, that sadness a little bit lower?
Please, yes.
Okay, let's start by tapping the line here of your hand.
Everybody follow along with her.
And then we're going to go move up to the top of our head and tap the top of our head. And then slide down to where your eyebrows kind of meet the nose, and go around, slide around to the outside by the cheekbone. Then I'm going to have you tap underneath the eyes, slide down to the little crease below your nose, and then the little crease by your chin, the natural crease there. And then tap where the 2 bones of your collarbone right underneath there. And then either reach around and tap your ribs or just tap them to the side. Then I'm going to have you come up and grab your hand and put your pinky on your thumb and tap the nail bed. And then go to the next finger in. Then your middle finger. Your pointer finger. And slide it around to your thumb. Then I'm going to have you tap right back here again by your collarbones. And then we're going to take 2 deep breaths and blow them out. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, go in. And one more. Okay, and then we're going to go right back into that tap on the hand. Up to the top of your head. Slide down to your eyebrows. Around to the cheekbone. Underneath the eyes. Drop down to that natural spot below your nose. And then your chin. To your collarbones again. And to your rib sides. Then I'm going to have you go to your fingers and start with your pinky finger again on the nail bed. Tap the next one in. I'll have to come up with the name of that one. Then your middle finger. Your pointer finger. Your thumb bed. Back to your collarbones where they meet. And then we're going to take 2 more deep breaths. One more. And now tell me where you're at on that scale.
Yeah, I don't feel anything.
Yes. I hope, even if you're not telling the truth, Sean, thank you.
I want everybody to give a big round of kudos to Jody and to Sean. Jody, that was great. And you just felt so natural and conversational with it. So we didn't know if you were feeling anything but confidence. So I just want you to say from our point of view, that looked really good and felt really good. Hey, Sean, how was that for you?
Yeah, it was great. I noticed that with this a little bit different than when I was doing it myself, is like I was fully immersed in the sensation of exactly where I was touching and everything like that. And I had the thought of the thing wasn't even in my mind at all. And so that was kind of nice.
Which is great, by the way. That is one of the reasons that we're signaling to whomever we're working on, bring it lightly to mind. What do you want to call that? That how much is that? Okay, let's just set it aside, right? Because we don't want really that prefrontal cortex stuff going on. We do want to be treating the body.
I think I forgot to say to set it aside.
That's okay. I think you did great. And anybody has any questions or remarks that maybe they were trying this too, maybe they were following along, I would love to show your colleagues some support. That's an interesting noise. I don't know what that is though. Daryl, is that you?
I don't know what's
I don't either.
done.
Okay.
I don't hear it anymore, do you?
So I don't know what that is either. How about somebody new follow the lead of Jody and Sean and give us some feedback? Step up to the plate and just say what this is like. You don't have to be all excited about it. Tell us truthfully, I used it on something. I was thinking about something else. This is what I felt. I didn't like this part. Whatever it is, please share with us. Anybody? No? Well, hey, Daryl, you got any words to say about this?
I think for Sean, he doesn't have to jump on here, but I think tuning into the information the body's giving you is real important. And so as Jondi was saying, as we've done in the trainings as well, remember the prefrontal is up here, and that's where all the logic and language and all that stuff is parked up here. And what we're trying to do is using the information the body gives, which is parked way back here. And that's the somatic information. It's just your body saying, I got this for you. I'm waiting for you to see what you want to do about it. Are we going to run? Are we going to scream? Are we going to fight? And what this tool does is, and the key to any good work of this type is really getting to know the body. And not even having to identify the information or give it a label, just know that it exists. As we shared before, trauma's kind of a jerk, and it kind of separates the mind from the body. And so what we want to do is integrate some of that and not even label the information as fear or anything like that. It's just information. And so then working with it at that level. So when Jondi says, don't worry so much about the prefrontal, let's just wait on all the labeling of it. Let's just say, I'm kind of tight in my stomach. Maybe previously you would label that fear or anger or something, but I'm tight in my stomach, or my heart's beating a little bit fast, or my arms are tingly. Stop there then. Don't dive into the labeling of anything, because you're taking yourself away from where it is living. I'm going to mute now because they decide to, I don't know, drop a bomb or kill a tree in my backyard right now.
Oh dear, sorry to
I might
hear that.
tap on that. Okay.
So taking off on Daryl's comment, what I don't want is to send them back in the same place that's a little loud and noisy. Right? This is why things are kind of chaotic and noisy and lots going on in my head. And so Jody, just taking where you were earlier, I've got this family thing and it's coming up and there's a lot on my mind and I want to make sure that it runs smooth and this and this and this. You see, it's getting kind of crowded in there, right? And so this is a way to give the thinking mind some respite and let the body, where all this incoming information is resonating, signal you. And so Sean, we could have asked easily, Sean said, well, it's a family thing. It involves an animal and it's a little sad. I didn't ask for any more information, but if I did, I might say, as my next kind of stair-step question, I might say, Sean, where is that reflecting as tension in your body? I didn't say, what do you think about it? What's it about? How? I didn't ask anything else, because what we're trying to do is get them all prepped to either do more classic tapping, which I love, or another tool from your toolbox. But we're kind of setting the stage for a clear target by de-intensifying all that and just clarifying whatever the body's giving you. What's your sense of this? It's like a 4. The next person says it's just really sad. Next person says, I don't know, everything's kind of murky. All of those answers are perfectly great, right? But as Daryl's saying, because we're using the body instead of the mind in this intervention, not forever, right now, I can easily say, hey, Sean, I know that you said you didn't feel anything at the end of it, but if I had asked you or Jody had asked you, where's that showing up in your body, Sean? What might you have said?
Jondi, one thing that I wanted to tell you too, that I think is going to be important,
Yes.
if I use it, is that I have to remember that I can't be where I'm at. Because Sean told me he was sad, and then I'm like, so let's put that aside and try to get rid of that stress. And then I'm like, wait, he didn't say he was stressed.
That's
he said
right.
he was sad. And
That's
so that was a good indicator right there to me, that I have to make sure that I know where I'm at, and that it's not about calming me down, but it's about doing, it's helping the other person do that. So I noticed that real quick. I'm like, wait, he didn't say he was stressed. I did.
Beautiful point. And this whole thing has made me a better listener, because I am not any longer allowing myself to go there. I'm just focused on being totally present. And what he says is go, right? And this works beautifully for children. Child says, well, I'm all muckabuck. I don't say, what do you mean by that? I'm like, muckabuck, got it. Okay. Do you have muckabuck? Like, is that showing up somewhere? Do you feel that somewhere? In my stomach. Okay, got a muckabuck stomach. Great, got it. Well, let me show you what I do when I have a muckabuck stomach. That's it. That's totally it. And in this way, you can use that to set the stage for this or anything else that you're using that you like. So again, Daryl's using the body right now. I'm not getting rid of my brain. I'm moving it aside, just like taking that so I can get to the midbrain and the hindbrain that are busy sending me all the information so that I can help, they can help me thrive, you know, past survive. It's just information. And our bodies are trying really hard to help out. So when we see that, we have that new point of view about it, we can use that to our advantage and theirs. So does anybody want to try this? I know that I keep asking, and I'm not trying to be annoying, but I'm just trying to see who's ready to step into that, because I think it will be so useful. I've spent 20 years proving this to myself, that it's useful in almost every situation I've ever been in with anybody I've ever been with. That's field tested, right? It's not in a textbook. So I offer it to you. And I'm hoping that you know that even though I think I'm really going to like Jodi and Sean, they're not my Confederates. They are just people I have met through this class. And they are telling you, looks to me very straightforwardly, this works, this doesn't, this is what I'm feeling, bada bing, just very straightforward information. And I love that. So any volunteers? No? Well, here's what I said a minute ago, and I'm trying to prove that to you anyway. Getting to a place where you could see yourself easily tapping more with words, which we'll do next week, on getting more clarity or priority, who's on first, right? So for instance, if I had been in a classic situation, I might have said, so Jodi, you know, of all the things coming up about your family's trip and all the things that are on your mind right now, do you have a clear sense of which ones are causing you the most distress or concern? And could we prioritize that and whatever? And before long, you know, I'm getting stressed out just thinking about her family, right? Which is not mine, not mine. And they don't need me to be stressed out for them. They need me to be that kind of calm foundation guide in a sense, right? Just being with you. So instead, I'm suggesting this is the perfect tool for taking the stress off or the intensity off. And I use intensity because stress means so many different things to so many different people now. I know you've all noticed that almost every conversation, somebody uses the word anxiety, which I have no idea what that means until they tell me. It's just a popular word now. And stress is like it. And so I'm just saying, hey, how big is that? That's a big difference, right? They're just telling you what it's like. If they don't understand the question, like Daryl said, I might move directly into the body and go, well, for instance, do you feel that going off anywhere in your body? Any tension when you're thinking about that? That's using the body to derive this information. And then away we go on this literally 120-second algorithm I showed you that involves, very helpfully, breathing and touching on these acupuncture points. And it's true, as Jodi says, like magic, or Daryl says, doggone, or Sean says, it seemingly takes all that intensity off, or a lot of it off, And if there's a lot remaining or some that we notice remaining, we just do it again. And we can do it again. I mean, how busy do we have to be not to have 120 seconds on our hands? 2 rounds, 120 seconds. I mean, huh? Right? I do this at a traffic light if I need to. And so in this way, I'm suggesting we can really get to a place where you, for yourself, or your friend, colleague, client can say, okay, whew, well, that's lighter. That's easier. That's okay. That's not so intense right now. And now Jody or Sean could say, okay, so about that situation, what is it about that that's causing you the most distress right now? It's going into priority without asking them to think out the priority, because we removed the intensity so they can actually access their resources and their thoughts better. So I think this is a great kindness kind of tool. Any observations or questions about that? All of them are welcome. Okay, I'm going to pick on Daryl again if you don't say what you have to say, because I know that Daryl's used to me and he's never been bitten by me yet. So got a good track record with you, Daryl.
I think to piggyback off of what you were saying, Jondi, and this is tying into the information we've been sharing for the past 6 months with the group, was the information that the body gives maybe previously would have been pretty quickly labeled as stress, or anxiety, or anger, or depression, or sadness. Sadness has a physiological presence as well. We were talking about the dog or the animal situation. Something occurred that Sean labeled it sadness, and it has, maybe sadness is heavier, maybe it's tighter, but with contextually then, well, I'm going to label that sad. Same with anxiety and stress and anger and excitement. But if you kind of pare all these down, a lot of them have a lot of crossover. That my anger feels really the same as my excitement. My heart's beating fast, my blood pressure's up, I'm hot, I'm tingly. Those are the same things. So what I really encourage when I work with folks is, well, let's just hold on before we say, well, this is this, because sometimes it's a mislabeling. Sean, look, your kids at school, a overwhelming amount of behavioral problems happen in gym class and on the playground, because those are where your heart is beating fast, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're tense, you're tight, you're tingly, you're breathing shallow. That feels a lot like anger. And maybe if I'm coming from some tough stuff previously at home, that's how I've labeled that sensation base. So I think part of good work in this area, the first step is just getting to know the information a little bit better. Taking a step back and even just using that breathing. Let me just wait before I label this. Let me just wait before I'm going to say this is anger, because anger has a whole waterfall of consequences that come along with it if I just go with it. But if I can pause for a second and just get the information and use this tool to diffuse that information, that puts me in charge of it instead of it in charge of me. And when I work with people at home on the res, that's one of the big things that they want, is that second that keeps them from consequences, really. And I've shared with the group before, Johnny, that I was working with a guy by telepsych in Michigan, and he was in an argument with his mother-in-law, and pretty bad one apparently, because the cops showed up, and he saw the lights in the driveway, and he said he took off running out the back door. And about 20 steps into his run in the field, he stops. What am I doing? This is just crazy. because the survival method of the body works way faster than the logic part of the brain. So using this tool to slow the game down. And that's really the message when I work with folks who've been through a lot of tough stuff. Let's slow the game down a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of, because if we run with it, the brain's going to fire and wire and say, well, we're running. We must be scared. We must be angry. We're running. And so it just gets that message and it fires and wires that. So what we want to do is slow the game down. Let's just wait. And let's use this tool to see how this can just be a nice spot to that fork in the road.
I
Man,
love
I just
that.
love
That
what
was
John
so
did.
well said, Daryl. Thank you. And Sean, taking that riff, I mean, what we're doing when it comes to kids is we're teaching them how to slow the roll and have emotional literacy, right? What is that? Oh, it's telling me that these are learned things that are going to be invaluable for them for their whole life. Learning how to read the body, learning how to read their own tells, their own signals. Hey, what's that telling you? Right. Good job. You're learning to read the signals. That's great. Peace out. Right? I love that. Thank you so much, Gerald. I miss you. I could just sit there and listen to you all day, Daryl. You just make it real. I like that. And that is what we're doing here, though. We're all about making it real. There is nothing convoluted or fancy about this. This is about human nature, its own self, I think. And that's why I believe it's so successful. I've only got a few more minutes with you today, darn it. And I want to know from anybody, including Jody or Sean, what is occurring to you about this, or what might be the next step that you needed to take you weren't completely sure of with this tool, anything at all, or maybe that's enough for now. And maybe Jody and Sean have given you a little impetus to try it this week. I would love for you to just try.
I think for me, I just need to remember to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it obviously works, but I don't think about it. So it's not second nature to go to yet.
Yep.
So I don't know, maybe I'll put like a little reminder or something in my phone where it'll ding, and then I can just try to start making it a habit.
Well, Daryl, remember when we went to the medical clinic up in maybe Michigan or Wisconsin? I had laminated these cards that had the tapping chart so that people could stuff them in their pockets. And so every time you stuck your hand in your pocket, boom, it was there. And I also recommended and have sent to many schools laminated copies. They can hang it so it's on the wall. It becomes part of the fabric of the classroom. Or I've had several times it put in my clients' houses. I even had one person say, and I hung that laminated thing in my shower, right? So I could multitask. And I said, great, whatever. But the idea of remembering to do it is simply, as you said, it's one of practice before it becomes, as you said, second nature, or I riffed on you today, first nature, right? It's the first thing I do. But in order to have that happen, it's like any other habit. I have to repeat it several times. So putting a little mnemonic device in front of you, which is just take several of those sheets, leave them around where you find yourself parked. There's one at my desk. Oh, look, there's one in the kitchen cabinet where I get my coffee. Oh, look, there's one in my car. Yay. And you hardly ever look at them anymore. It's just almost like a reminder. Oh yeah, do that thing. So that's what I'm hoping is you won't carry whatever it is that you're carrying around. You'll set it down. You'll spend 120 seconds or so on it, and you can just flatten that, neutralize that, release that. And every other decision is just going to be that much easier because it's sort of a level playing field. I'm clean, I'm ready to go. Right? And that response, like Daryl was talking about with that guy, all of a sudden he remembered, he stopped and he responded instead of reacted. Even though he reacted first, no harm, no foul. He made it. So glad for that. Well, I'm just bang, 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 banging my lips together there. I hope that anybody that wants to, maybe it's too much to ask for us to talk together in class, but you have my email. If you want to ask a question, talk about something, or have me do something with you, I will be there. I will do it to the best of my ability. I will do that.
Thank you, everyone.